Okay, so the plan for the next few days is that me and a couple of my friends are going to go down to the caravan. Two of them are just coming down for the day. I'm not sure what we're going to get up to with them. Me and my friend Jamie are going to be there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the plan is to go and see some historical sites around the north of England where my caravan is. So we've got Cragside, which is an old manor house we're thinking about going to see, and maybe take a visit to Alnwick, and that also has the largest second-hand bookshop in the UK. So it's going to be a good couple of days. It's a good opportunity to do more practice with this camera as well. My granny pointed out, I've just done it there, that I keep saying M and A in between sentences, because obviously I'm thinking. I don't know how I'm going to counteract that. Maybe I'm going to edit out me going see, it's involuntary, I can't help it. Or I'm going to maybe write a little script so that I know what I'm going to say, or a rough idea, so that I'm not having to go back into my brain to work out what I'm going to say next. It'll be more like I've got a fact sheet of some sort. I realise that while I've been saying this, I've done it at least 6 or 7 times. It's a habit that's hard to break, and it'll be quite hard not to do it throughout a whole video. So we'll see how we get on with that. I'll come back to the video though once my friend Jamie's picked me up, and we'll take it from there. Good morning, Jamie. You looking forward to another adventure, son?
Looking forward to it, mate.
Fantastic. Hey. Okay, so we're at the Lindisfarne Inn, and we're going to go and visit Holy Island just now. Met up with another 2 of my friends. We're going to get some burgers and then head across before the tide comes in. The tide today is 2:30. If we don't make it, we're stuck on Holy Island. I've been to the Lindisfarne Inn before. It's a beautiful little restaurant. Me and my friends, I think, all ordered burgers, and it looks like one of my friends is actually eating my food as we speak. We'll go in and see what they're saying to it. Yeah, good timing. Now, this road to Holy Island is only 1 mile long. It doesn't sound like a huge distance. However, if you were trying to beat the tide and come across and there was a bit of traffic, 1 mile is quite a significant distance. There's photos posted all around the place of people standing on top of their cars and having to get saved by lifeboats, etc. The road itself's actually been used for nearly 1,500 years. In fact, slightly over 1,500 years. It's always been the access route to Lindisfarne and what was once the monastery. So this is us on Holy Island now, and I'll turn the camera around to see if you can see what I am. So far in the distance, I'm not sure the camera will pick it up, is Bamborough Castle, and if you look to my left, that's Lindisfarne Castle. Like I said, quite a lot of history here. I'm going to experiment by taking footage this time, unlike my last video, and then overlaying it. I think it'll take out me saying and etc. So that's the plan this time. Take footage, talk over it after, try and get like a little bit of a script, and then see how it looks. It's all a learning curve, so we'll see what happens. It's just another experiment. A friend of mine's just driving up, or he should be very soon. And then we'll go up and I'll try and get some nice photographs and videos of Lindisfarne Castle itself. So I'll come back once we're there.
No. So they could have done that for then.
Yeah.
Perfect. It's funny because the last time I was here visiting Holy Island, we didn't even notice that this part of the island was here. Sorry. We didn't even notice this part was here, so it wasn't a wasted journey last time, but I can't believe we missed a whole castle on the island, bizarrely. So as we walk around the castle, you can see the time and effort that's went into beautifully restoring it to how it would have looked when it was actually in use. The original purpose of this castle, ironically, was to keep out Scottish invaders. And then I think Henry VIII, who commissioned it, would be turning in his grave knowing that 4 Scottish invaders just paid £13 each to get in. The castles went through many different guises. It was a holiday home, army barracks, and now, it's just a visitor centre that people can go and see. There isn't actually a huge amount to see within the building itself. It took about half an hour to walk around, but if you're in Holy Island, it would be silly not to give it a try and visit it. This last room that we're seeing now, I have no idea what this was all about. It seems to be some sort of modern art exhibition. However, there wasn't any explanation, nothing to read, no plaque. It was just a bit spooky, to be perfectly honest. I have to say, I think this would be quite a nice place to live. The only downside obviously being that the tides. So all these businesses are kind of timed for the tides coming up and down. They alter throughout the year. I was speaking to one of the people who work at the businesses. So today, for example, we have to be away by 2:30, therefore the businesses close at 2:30. And obviously as the year progresses, it's different kind of time. So I can imagine it would be a nice quality of life here, but I don't think it's conducive to having a 9-to-5 job necessarily. You would have to have a nice arrangement with your boss or something like that in order to actually make it work, living on a tide-locked island. Really, really nice place. So me and my muckers were fancying ice cream and we found this place called Pilgrim's Gelato. Hello, how you doing? It looks like quite a nice selection of ice creams here. Do you mind if I video? Thank you very much. Look at that, fantastic. And this lovely lady serving us today. Hello. That's us leaving Holy Island now. We've had some nice ice cream, seen some historical sites, and we're going to head, I think, probably back up to Berwick-upon-Tweed. So this has been quite a nice journey actually, and I'm glad that I managed to see the half of the island that I didn't manage to get last time. Good morning to all 7 of my subscribers. Quite well rested after last night. We went to Northumberland National Park, which is one of the UK's designated dark spots. Now I've not got any footage of it because my camera wouldn't do it justice. When I tell you it was breathtaking though, take my word for it, it really was quite beautiful. We didn't even have to drive far, it was half an hour, went up to a place called Wooler, and then we were in the middle of, like I said, the national park. It was complete pitch blackness. You could see millions of stars. The longer your eyes adjusted, the more you could see. So that's us up anyway. Our plan for today is we're going to go and visit Alnwick, get something to eat, have a walk around the town, hopefully catch Barter Books, one of my favourite places on the planet, and then again hopefully we'll go to a place called Cragside, which is an old manor house in Northumberland, very famous, and it's quite a unique property. We'll go into a bit more detail about that when we actually get there. So I'll tune back in once we're in Alnwick. Okay, so today, leg 2 of the journey, we're visiting Alnwick, quite a historic town. As you can see behind me here, we have Harry Hotspur, a famous knight who fought the Scots. Interestingly, we gave him the name Harry Hotspur, and it's a nice thought to think that we used to give our enemies endearing names when they showed valour on the battlefield. I'm going to try and get a few bits of footage in Alnwick. The castle's closed, the castle gardens are open though, so we'll see what we end up finding out. Sorry, I'll get out of the way. So we've been walking through the beautiful market town of Alnwick. Just found out that it used to be a bit of a mining town also. The castle's closed unfortunately, so we won't be able to visit there. However, in my opinion, I've got one better, which is Barter's bookshop, the biggest second-hand bookshop in the whole of the UK. I've been there before. It is fantastic. I'm a bit of a bookworm, and I have to say that this, out of all the places I've visited over the last few years, is one of my happy places. It's absolutely beautiful. Modelled inside an old train station. It's got lots of stuff, nice cafe. So me and my friend are going to visit it and maybe pick up a few books. I'll take some videos inside and show you what it looks like. Okay, so I've been asking a few questions and I'm going to try and keep it quiet because I am in a bookshop and it's much like a library, I always feel. So I won't be too loud. But apparently this bookshop has over 350,000 books across 32,000 square feet of area. It's in actual fact one of Europe's largest second-hand bookstores, not just the UK. This was a railway station from 1887. until it closed in 1968. As well as this bookshop, interestingly, does a system where rather than actually purchasing books, you can bring books back and barter them, i.e. barter books. So it means you can come back with some old books, bring them in, and they'll give you credit to actually spend in store. Just leaving Barter's books now. As you can see, there is a huge amount to choose from, fantastic selection of books, and altogether just quite a beautiful place to spend your time in. You could literally spend all day, if not multiple days there. However, we've got other stuff to be doing, so we're going to head off now and grab some lunch. But yeah, if you're ever in this area, or even if you're not in this area, this is somewhere where you should definitely go out your way to visit. Okay, so on our quest to find something to eat, I remembered a lovely little restaurant called Dirty Bottles. There's also a cool bit of history that I'll be able to talk you through as well. Last time I got a hanging kebab, and it's exactly as it sounds. It was a kebab that was hanging. Not much more to it than that. Anyway, once we actually get to the restaurant, I'll take a wee video and I'll read the plaque to you, explaining the whole history behind it. So that's us at Dirty Bottles now, and like I said, I'll read out the plaque. These here bottles have remained untouched since 1725, when the then landlord dropped down dead after touching them. His wife proclaimed them cursed, and they have remained locked in this window ever since for the protection of all who pass by, although other eerie happenings have still continued within. Spooky. Let's see if we see any ghosts when we go inside. So that's me just left Dirty Bottles. I opted for the steak with chips and the beef dripping gravy. Can't go wrong with a beef dripping gravy, to tell you the truth. And my friend opted for the salt and chili chicken with some katsu sauce. Both of them were nice enough. And as you can see here, the standout features of this building are the fact that they've incorporated the old brickwork into what's quite a beautiful kind of semi-modern interior. From my understanding, what happened was it started off as a relatively small pub, and they've had to continue knocking through walls in order to increase the size and capacity. It's got a lot of history. We asked the barmaid if it was haunted. She claimed it wasn't. The outside claimed it was. That's for you to decide whether or not it is in fact haunted. Overall, it was a nice meal. I suppose the best part of meals is actually the company that you keep. You have a meal with your best mate, it's virtually impossible for it to be a bad meal. I'll definitely be back if I'm in the area, and I would recommend it if you were in this neck of the woods. So that's a trip to Alnwick at the end. We managed to have a nice little walk about, experience some of the town, meet some locals and have some interesting conversations. I'm not confident enough yet to ask people to interview them, to be perfectly frank, but I will get to that stage. Went to Barter's books, never actually picked up a book. Next time I come though, I will make a point. We also managed to get a nice lunch, and the next part of our journey is potentially going to Cragside. If not, obviously I'll edit this out, and I realise that I'm actually just talking to myself just now. So we're maybe going to go for a swim, and there's two lakes to pick from. One's called Deadbone, which does not sound like it would be adequate for swimming, and one's called Tumbleton, which sounds like it's literally made for jumping into. So it's 50-50, we'll decide what one to go in. We'll probably do that after we've been into Cragside and have a little look around. So that's me at Cragside Manor now, and doing a little bit of research about it. It's truly something to behold. Not only is it made in the kind of mock Tudor Gothic style, but this is actually the equivalent of the first ever smart home. Now, there's some interesting facts that I'm going to go through just now. It's the world's first hydro-powered home, utilising all the different rivers, lochs, and the actual topography of the place in order to generate hydroelectric power. This has been a blueprint for numerous different buildings since, and actually some cities and towns all across the world. The architect Richard Norman Shaw specifically designed this to look like a fairy tale castle, and as you'll see from the videos just now, I think he's hit the nail on the head. The estate stretches over 1,000 acres. Having walked about it a little bit, You can tell that a lot of love and care goes into maintaining this place, keeping it looking nice. On top of the fact that it used hydroelectric generation, this also had amazing mod cons, stuff like dishwashers and washing machines, things that were kind of unheard of at the time. Certainly not something your average Joe would be able to get their hands on. Another testament to how impressive feat of engineering these types of houses are. Now, as far as office and studies go, I think this one is pretty striking. You can imagine Mr. Armstrong inviting people to look at a new business venture, look at some of his engineering drawings, and I think you would be pretty struck when you come into a room like this. Definitely making a statement and showing his love for books and history and engineering. I think you can tell a lot about a man by his study. And if this is any reflection on the kind of character he was, I think he was a man who appreciated beautiful things, furniture, books. It's very classy, very tidy. Something that anyone would be happy to have in their house, I think. This is the gallery of the house. And when I say that this is some of the most fantastic art I've ever seen, I really do mean it. Not only that, it has what the guy says the equivalent of about £1 million to build the fireplace. The bottom half is made of marble for strength and the top half is made of alabaster, slightly easier to work with. Now, that in no way indicates that that was an easy thing to build, just so you know. It is just slightly easier to work with than marble. Probably one of the most striking things I have ever seen inside a home. I don't actually even have a comparison. The only thing I've seen which is even moderately like it would be the exterior of Milan Cathedral. It's the only thing I've seen with my own eyes that I could compare it to. Really something quite special. So me and my friend here are both absolutely knackered. So we're going to visit the tea rooms here and see if we can get some nice coffee to wake us up a little bit. Okay, so that's us back from our trip. Quite knackered, done about 18,000 steps odd. And I think I managed to tick everything off the itinerary. Walked around Alnwick, went to Barter's books, went to Cragside. The only thing we didn't do was a swim. That's because the lakes that we kind of picked out were actually part of the Cragside grounds, and I can't imagine they would have looked upon that too favourably. So, time to just get settled for the night, I think, and then tomorrow we'll see what happens. Potentially go and visit Hadrian's Wall on the way back up to Scotland. We'll see how it goes, we might just fancy a chilled day. So I'll check back in anyway. I'll do a little follow-up conclusion video as well and talk about my experience doing this one. Anyway, thank you for watching thus far, and like I said, I'll come back to you very shortly. Okay, so that's my holiday at the caravan done for this weekend. I have to say I'm incredibly grateful and thankful that I've got this little home from home to come to enjoy myself and come and go on adventures. I used to waste it a little bit and come down and drink all weekend. Now that I'm sober, I feel like I've got to enjoy my surroundings a little bit more. Managed to tick a few things off the list, got some new video editing techniques that I've tried out and I think I've been quite successful. Seen a few new historic sites I hadn't seen before and had an excellent weekend with my friend over there. All in all, it's been really worthwhile and I'm looking forward to my next time coming back. Stay tuned, like, subscribe, and share. So that's me just finishing editing together the final video now to post it on YouTube. I think there's been a marked improvement in my video editing techniques. Ultimately, that'll be up for you to decide, whoever watches this, but I'm quite happy with how it looks. There's still a lot to be desired, but it's all just trial and error, to be honest. I've not done any tutorials. I'm using a fairly simple software called CapCut, and this is only my second time actually putting a video together. So all in all, it's been a good trip. I'm happy with how it looks. There's more to be done, and I'm just looking forward to my next adventure, and hopefully you'll follow along on it with me.